Hello everyone, Sasha here, and I'm bringing you a stretching video today. So we're going to stretch our lower body, especially our inner thighs, quads, hips, and butt. All you need for this video is a yoga mat, and we are going to start standing. So come standing to the back of your mat, feet hip width apart, roll the shoulders back. We inhale, reach the arms up to the sky, and then exhale, we roll down, hands towards the floor. Take a forward fold. So here you can do quite a few things. You can keep your knees slightly bent and soft. You can rock your body side to side. You can rock just your upper body side to side. You can bend and extend your legs. You could grab onto your feet. I'm going to take one hand into the opposite elbow and then take a forward fold there. So we're looking towards our knees. I'm going to sway my upper body side to side. Sending our tailbone up to the sky, really lengthening through the hamstrings and through that lower back. Take a few more big breaths here. Really relaxing through the neck. You can shake your head side to side if that feels good. And we're going to come down into a down dog. So walk those hands forward on the mat and then press back to a down dog. You want to spread your fingers wide and press your palms down. Press your chest to your thighs and really aim your tailbone and your butt up to the sky. We're just going to walk out through those legs to lengthen through the hamstrings, bending and extending one leg at a time. And as you bend one leg, press into the heel of the straight leg and you're going to stretch up the back of that leg. Our eye gaze is towards our knees. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Let's see if we can keep those legs straight or slightly bent if you're quite tight in the hamstrings. We're going to come to a single leg dog hip opener next. So you might find this stretch pretty uncomfortable, but we're not going to be here for too long. Let's reach that left leg up to the sky, open the hip, and then bend the knee and drop that foot. Ideally, you want to be able to see your left foot underneath your right armpit behind your right hip. So really reaching that left knee up to the sky, opening through this hip. Couple more big breaths here. Keep pressing right heel down to the mat and you'll get a stretch down the back of that right leg as well. We're going to send this leg forward to a lunge position. So when you're ready, bring that foot forward, planted inside your hands. Lower the back knee down to the mat and then squeeze your glutes and push your hips forward and down. Press down into the hands and lift the chest up. Eye gaze is forward and we should get an opening through that hip. If you want a little more intensity, you can rest both hands on the front knee or reach that right arm to the sky and then lean over to the left. I really like this one. That's a nice stretch. You can even take your left fingers down on the floor if you're feeling a little bit wobbly here. Opening up through the side body and that hip. You can also take both arms to the sky and then arch your back and look up to the sky. That feels pretty juicy as well through the spine and the hip. Just make sure front knee stays tracking our ankle. Take a couple more breaths here and then we're going to come into a bit of a deeper hip stretch for both hips. So this one you should feel in that front of that right hip. When you're ready, let's bring those hands down. Now lift your bottom of your left foot away from the mat and open your left knee out to the side. You can come down onto the elbows if that's possible here, or you can stay up on the hands. Now I like this stretch with my knee open and the bottom of my foot off the mat, but you can also plant your foot, and this is going to be a deeper stretch with that knee parallel over the ankle. Knee is next to that left shoulder. Now you can choose to stay here and enjoy this stretch. Just keep pressing your hips down towards the mat. Or you can choose to take your left arm to the sky, open up through your waist and look up towards that hand and take a twist through the torso. It's going to be a nice stretch through the torso, a little bit through that chest. So in any of these stretches, you just do what feels good. I'm going to give you a bunch of options. You can copy me or kind of find your own way. We're going to come to a pigeon stretch now. So plant that leg down. It's in an L shape to the front of our mat. Extend that right leg long, point to the toes and lift the chest. Now you want to push your right hip down into your left heel. You can choose to stay lifted here. This feels nice. Or you can come down onto your elbows if that's available. Now we want to really flex through the left foot to protect the hip. And we want to keep pressing the right hip down. You can choose to lie down if that feels comfy here, making a pillow with your hands, or you can stack your fists one on top of each other if you need a little more height, and then lie on your fists. Big breaths here. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Relaxing through the shoulders and really settling into this stretch. I'm going to come up onto my hands for a couple more breaths. You can stay down if that feels good. Couple more big breaths here, and then we're going to press back to down dog. Feels really nice to arch my back here. And when you're ready, let's press back to down dog. Give that dog a little walk out again. Remember, we spread the fingers wide. Press that tailbone up to the sky, and we look back to our knees. When you're ready, let's extend the right leg to the sky, open the hip, and then bend the knee, drop the foot, so that knee is pointing up towards the sky. We want to be able to see that right foot underneath the left armpit, and we want to press that left heel down to the mat. Lengthening through the back of the left leg, and opening through the right hip. Again, this might not be comfortable for you, but we're not here for too long. We have some kind of lazier, easier stretches coming. Push that knee up to the sky, really open that hip. We're going to come into our crescent lunge stretch next. So we send that right foot forward onto the mat. Lower the left knee. Push your hips forward. You can choose to stay on your hands, but keeping lifted through your chest. And make sure that right knee is tracking over our right ankle. So we should get this stretch in the left hip, front of the left hip. Now you can choose to stay here, or you can choose to bring both hands on top of your right knee. Make sure we're tucking that tailbone under and really pressing the hips forward. You should begin to stretch through the front of that hip. You can reach your left arm to the sky and lean over to the right for more of a stretch through your side waist. Again, you can place your right fingertips on the floor next to your right hip if you want a little more stability. I like that stretch. Really lifting through the chest. Pressing down through the front heel. You can choose to lift both arms to the sky and arch your back and look up if that feels good. We're going to come down into that little bit deeper hip stretch next. So remember, you can stay on the hands or the elbows, but both hands or elbows are going to go inside the foot, and then we roll the knee outwards, lift the bottom of the foot away from the mat. I'm going to come to my elbows. Now I like this stretch, but remember, you can choose to instead plant the foot and hug that right knee towards your right shoulder. Breathing here, pushing left hip down, lifting the chest. You have the option to stay here or open your right arm to the sky and twist through your torso. Might feel nice as well. Just try to keep your right knee parallel if your foot is flat, not letting it roll open. Couple more breaths here before we come to pigeon. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. When you're ready, bring that right foot forward. So it's an L shape. Flex that right foot and then push your left hip down towards your heel. Lift up through the chest, draw those shoulders back and down. Really reach long through your left tippy toes. Choose to stay here or choose to come down to your elbows. This is our pigeon stretch for our glute. Really good if we've done a lot of standing leg work or booty work throughout the week. Keep pressing that left hip to that right heel and take big deep breaths. The deeper we breathe, the deeper we're going to stretch those muscles. You can choose to lie down, making a pillow with your hands or your fists. And just enjoy this stretch for a few more breaths. Inhaling through the nose, big exhale through the mouth. Try not to fight the stretch, try to sink and relax into it. That's going to be a lot better for your muscles. And you can choose to stay here for a little longer, or you can choose to pop up on your hands, extending through your spine. We are going to come into a hip opener stretch next. One more big breath here. And when you're ready, let's come kneeling on our mat sideways. Open the knees wide. Bring the big toes towards each other, and then you can come forward onto your elbows. Now we are stretching through our inner thighs. Probably a bit of a tight muscle for most of us. You can choose to stay down here on your elbows, or if you don't find this comfortable, if you find it painful, you can choose to press back up onto your hands and just enjoy that stretch there. Now I kind of like to wiggle in my stretches, so I like to rock side to side or forward and back here. But you can do whatever feels good for you. I love this stretch. I'm not very good at it. I'm quite tight here, but it feels really nice. So my toes are pointed inwards towards each other, just opening through those hips again. A few more big breaths here. And let's pop ourselves up. We're going to come into a hamstring stretch. So come seated, and then extend your left leg out long, flex that foot, and sit up nice and tall. Reach the arms forward, and then rotate towards that foot, and then we fold forward over that leg. Now you can choose to grab the bottom of your foot. You can choose to place both hands next to your ankle on your mat, either side of your ankle. You can choose to grab your ankle or your calf. What we don't want to do is reach the nose to the knee. Think about reaching the nose towards the toes, so lengthening through the spine. This is a deeper option. Left hand comes down, elbow inside that knee. Right arm reaches up and over towards those toes, stretching through my side waist. This one's really good if you've done a lot of oblique or waist work throughout the week. You can grab onto your toes with that left hand as well. Couple more big breaths here. Try to fold a little further. And when you're ready, let's come up and change sides. So tuck that leg in, extend that right leg long, flex the foot. Set up nice and tall, arms long, rotate towards the foot, and then you can choose to have hands down beside your ankle, hands on your ankle, or you can choose to grab onto your toes. Whatever feels better for you. Relaxing through the shoulders. You can go one hand on your foot, one hand inside the ankle. I'm a little tighter on this side, so this feels more comfortable for me. Again, reaching chest and nose towards those tippy toes. If you'd like a deeper stretch, you can place that right elbow inside the knee, palm down. Reach that left arm up to the sky and then over towards those right toes. Pressing down into the elbow to really open through your chest and look up to the sky. This is really good for that side waist. Again, you can choose to grab your toes with that bottom hand or your top hand, or both hands if you're pretty bendy here, but keep opening through the chest. Try not to collapse. And we're just going to finish with one more stretch. So we're going to do a straddle stretch. Again, really good for your hips and inner thighs. Extend those legs long. I like to have my feet flexed, but you can have a little play. Lift your chest up, have a nice flat back, no round spines here. Good posture. And then hinge forward at the hips, walk those fingertips out. Keep your chest lifted, look forward, try not to slouch and look down. Again, you can point your toes or flex your toes and see what feels better. I like to wiggle side to side in this one as well. You can choose to stay on your hands. You can choose to pop down to your elbows. If you're super bendy here, you can feel totally free to pancake your body and lie flat. Keep pulling those toes back towards you if you're taking that flexed option. Another option is to grab onto your toes. So your left hand grabs your left toes, your right hand grabs your right toes, and then you fold forward. pulling those toes towards you. Couple more big breaths here. Relaxing through the shoulders and the spine. And let's come out of that stretch and just sit cross-legged or however is comfortable for a moment. Give your shoulders a little roll back and down. Place your hands on your thighs, on your knees, and take a couple big breaths. Inhaling through the nose. You can lift the shoulders, exhale through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. You can use this time to set your intention or your focus for the day if you're just getting started. Or take this time to thank your body and thank yourself for giving your body this time to give back to it in your stretches. Thank you for joining me and enjoy the rest of your day. Feel free to repeat this video as often as you like. Stretching is really good for us to do every day. And I'll see you next time.